Welcome to Fix It Vision. Today we're going to be fixing a chain on a dual suspension mountain bike. Got our buddy Santa Cruz tall boy. Snapped his chain this afternoon, so we're going to show you how to put on a new one. So the first step when replacing a chain is figuring out how many speeds you have so you get the right chain. They come in different widths, so if you get the wrong speed it won't work on your bike. This one, if we count how many cogs we have, we see we have 10. So we need a 10-speed chain. I have right here. This is SRAM PC 1071. Somewhat light, pretty strong. It's a good all-around chain. So, if we take the chain box, open it up, see we have a chain. These little quick link pins to help you put it back together, and some instructions. So the chains come in a long length, and you cut them down depending on the size of your frame and type of bike, etc., etc. One method people use is they take the old chain and match it up with the new chain and cut them the exact same length. Problem with that is if the first guy who put on the chain put it on wrong, you're just repeating his process. We're going to do it by measuring your suspension and your gears and make sure you get it to the right length. First thing we're going to do is we're going to shift the gears into the smallest rings on both the front and the rear derailleur. And get set up to lace the chain in. So we're going to take the full length of chain, and I always kind of lay it on top and then weave it through the front derailleur first, which is right here. Pull it through. On some chains they are directional, so it matters which way they're flipped and which way they're facing. The SRAM chain doesn't matter. So you loop it around, kind of let this guy hang. From the back now, we're going to lay this in the smallest gear. And then this gets a little tricky. You can pull down on the rear derailleur, and this chain loops around the first cog, through a guide right here on top of it, and around the second cog. Alright, so this part can be a little tricky and tough to understand, so we'll go kind of slow. Make sure that we have it in the smallest gear on the back and the smallest cog in the front. We want to pull the chain together, and when you pull it together you can get just enough. What we want is if you have too loose of a chain, this doesn't pull and it slaps and your chain isn't tight enough. So we want to pull on our chain so we have a little bit of tension in the rear derailleur, and you can kind of match up where you should cut your chain to get that right length. See right there, we have enough of that rear derailleur tensioner pulling with the chain cut at this length. So we're going to mark it and kind of hold it with our finger and cut it with our chain tool. So there are lots of different chain tools. This is one that most people kind of have in their pack. It's part of the multi-kit that you can keep with you while you're riding. This guy has a little slot that the chain falls in, and it's got this pin. When you spin it, it'll press out the pin on the chain. We'll show you that in just a sec. If you don't have a chain tool, you can always use the keys to the city. Give you a real little breakdown of how these guys work. It's a little piece of chain we cut off. So the chain breaker has these grooves, which the chain kind of falls right into. You see it has the holders right there. Once it's in there, turn the pin, and once it pops, this pin starts to push the pin inside the chain out. Move it closely, you see it starting to come out. And as we press it out, chain, screw the pin that's holding it. That's the little pin inside that holds your chain together. When we unscrew this, our chain comes in two pieces with the pin inside missing. That's how we cut your chain to length.
So these are quick links. Come with the chain to put it together, so you don't need a tool. They're also a good handy thing to keep in a bag in case you're out in the hills and you break a chain. You can usually replace it. A lot of racers have these, venture cyclists, everything. How they work, so you have these two pins and they're actually tongue grooved to each other, so they fit these opposite holes. If we can focus, one on this side, one on that side. And when you shove them together, they pop into the groove and lock the chain together. I'll show you on the bike right now. Connecting the chain together, you can either just grab on the chain and pull it tight and put the pins together, or if you don't want to fight with the tension, you can actually pull the chain off the front chain wheel, let it sit against the frame. You get a lot more space in it. So I'm going to take one side of my pin and hook it into the outer side of this side of the chain, and take my other pin, hook it on the inside of the other side of the chain. Once I have them together, pull them close, have the grooves align, push them together, and then pull them apart till they snap. And once you have it basically on, you can pull on it and it should snap. If it doesn't pull enough, you can take the chain, put it back on the front cog. You can either hold the brake or hold the wheel, push on it, sorry, actually roll it around so it's on the tension side, and you can push on it and it'll pop into place. They also make a special tool that opens and closes these. It's about 40 bucks. You can get it from Park Tool. Not really needed. You can kind of do it by hand. So after the chain pin's been installed, the only thing to do is to shift the bike into the biggest gears and make sure that you didn't cut the chain too short. So you can shift it up. You can see we still have a little bit of room in the derailleur to play without it getting so tight that the chain would snap, and the bike's good to go. So that's it today on Fix It Vision. Shows you how to put a chain on a bike. Works on road bikes, mountain bikes, just about anything. Kind of the same idea and concept. Again, if you like what you saw, click on anywhere in the video to subscribe. If you have ideas of what we should fix next week, leave it in the comments below. This fix, you're going to need a replacement belt, a Metro board, just some Allens. Pretty basic.